All right, welcome back. We're doing a deep dive today into some really intense NBA playoff games from last night. The pressure is definitely on.
It really is. Playoff basketball, there's nothing quite like it. And last night, well, gave us a lot to talk about, didn't it?
Absolutely. We're focusing on three key matchups: Celtics versus Magic, Cavs against the Heat, and then Rockets taking on the Warriors out west.
Yeah. Each game felt pretty pivotal, a chance for teams to either really take control or, in one case, fight right back into it.
Exactly. And we saw some maybe slightly surprising outcomes. Definitely saw some star performances we need to break down.
Right. And for you listening, we want to get past just the final scores. We're digging into the strategy, the key moments, the players that really made the difference.
Okay, let's start in the East. Boston Celtics, Orlando Magic. Celtics took it, 109-100. They're up 2-0 now. The big story feels like Boston's defense.
Oh, for sure. Boston's D was just really impressive. They seemed to completely disrupt what Orlando wanted to do offensively, just couldn't get comfortable.
Yeah, they really struggled to get anything going inside, didn't they?
Totally. Boston used their size, their length really well. Help defense was always there, and they controlled the boards. Plus, their switching on screens was pretty seamless. Made it tough for Orlando's guards to penetrate.
And then on the other end, well, no surprise here, Tatum and Brown combined for 55 points. Their chemistry, it just clicks.
It really does. It's like they just know where the other one's going to be. One drives, the other finds space. It puts immense pressure on the defense.
So tough to cover both that drive and the kick out.
Exactly. They force you to make impossible choices sometimes.
Now for Orlando, Paolo Banchero, he put up 28, looked like he was doing everything he could.
Yeah, he definitely showed up, played hard, tried to carry the load. But, against a defense like Boston's playing that well,
Yeah.
it's tough for one guy to beat them. You need more firepower across the board.
It felt like Boston just controlled the whole flow of the game, the pace, the execution.
Hmm.
Very precise.
That points to, excellent preparation and focus. They had a game plan, and they stuck to it. Didn't get rattled, made smart plays.
So Orlando goes home down 0-2. What's the number one thing they have to figure out, like right now?
Offense. Point blank. They have to find ways to create better looks against that Boston defense.
Yeah.
Maybe more off-ball movement, different sets, something to counter that pressure. If they don't, this could be a short series.
Okay, let's shift to the other East matchup. Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Miami Heat. Cavs win this one too, 121-112. So they're also up 2-0. Sounds like Cleveland's offense was just on fire.
Yeah, on fire is a good way to put it. Very efficient. They were attacking relentlessly, spacing the floor well. Miami would make a little push, and Cleveland just, bang, answered right back.
Donovan Mitchell, 35 points. He looked explosive.
He really did. Aggressive from the jump, getting to the rim, drawing fouls, hitting those tough jumpers too. His energy, you could feel it kind of lift the whole team.
And Darius Garland's playmaking, that was key too, right? Setting guys up.
Absolutely crucial. Garland's the conductor, penetrating, finishing, or finding the open man. His pick-and-roll game was just carving Miami up at times.
But Miami, they didn't just lie down. Jimmy Butler had 30. Bam Adebayo got a double-double. They were fighting.
Oh, for sure. Butler and Bam. They're the heart and soul there, played with huge effort, put up numbers, but it wasn't quite enough this time.
Why not? What was the difference maker?
I think, honestly, it came down to Cleveland's depth. Their bench guys came in and provided real scoring, good defense, energy. That support allows your stars to stay effective and helps you withstand those inevitable runs Miami makes.
So Miami's also down 0-2. What's their big adjustment heading home?
Defense, similar to Orlando in a way, but maybe focused differently. They have to find a way to slow down Cleveland, particularly Mitchell getting into the lane. And they've got to contest those threes better, maybe mix up their coverages more, be more disruptive somehow.
All right, let's head out west. This one shook things up a bit. Houston Rockets beat the Golden State Warriors 109-94. Series tied 1-1 now. That's a pretty big bounce back for Houston.
Huge. Absolutely huge. Shows a lot of grit, losing game one, then coming back strong against a team like the Warriors. That's impressive resilience.
Yeah, resilience was the word used. And adjustments. Sounds like they tweaked their strategy, especially defensively, against that high-powered Warriors offense. What might that have looked like?
Well, it's likely a combination of things. Maybe they trapped Curry more aggressively off screens, tried to get the ball out of his hands. They probably also really focused on limiting transition points. Golden State thrives there and maybe control the tempo a bit more.
And for Houston offensively, Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. combined for 50. They were really getting downhill.
Yeah, their ability to just attack the paint was key. It put so much pressure on the Warriors' D. Either they score, get fouled, or kick out to open shooters when the defense collapses.
So Golden State, Steph Curry still got his, 27 points. But overall, the team wasn't as efficient. Shooting percentages were down.
Right. Even Curry can have nights where it's not quite automatic. And as a team, yeah, they seem to struggle a bit more to get those clean looks they usually find. Credit to Houston's defense for making things tougher.
It really sounds like Houston's defensive changes, maybe some smart rotation adjustments by the coaches, that was the difference, shows how adaptable you need to be.
Exactly. That's playoff basketball. It's a
think
chess match. Making those game-to-game adjustments and then having the players buy in and execute, that's critical. Houston clearly did that for Game 2.
Okay, so series tied 1-1, heading back to Golden State.
Yeah.
What's the focus for both teams now?
For Houston, it's can they sustain that defensive intensity on the road and keep scoring effectively in a tougher environment? For Golden State, they need to get their offensive rhythm back, figure out how to counter Houston's pressure, find those open looks again.
The fact Houston could disrupt them like that, it just makes this series way more interesting moving forward, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It throws a wrench into things. You know, the Warriors, with all their experience, they'll be poring over the tape, planning their counter moves. It sets up a fascinating Game 3.
So, quick recap then. Boston, Cleveland, both looking strong, up 2-0 with solid wins. But the big news really is Houston fighting back, tying it up with Golden State. Lots of drama.
Definitely. These games really showed everything, didn't they? Skill, strategy adjustments, sheer determination.
Yeah.
It's that constant back and forth, teams probing weaknesses, trying to find an edge.
Yep. It's that skill, the tactics, but also just the will to win. That's what makes the NBA playoffs so compelling to watch.
You know, thinking about all three series,
Yeah.
we've talked about stars, defense, adjustments,
Right.
but it makes you wonder what's going to be the real tipping point, the thing maybe we're not focusing on enough.
Yeah, that's a great question. Beyond the obvious stuff, what's that kind of unexpected factor? Could it be like a random role player catching fire? Or maybe one specific matchup that suddenly shifts? Or even just luck? A weird bounce at the wrong time? What's that little thing that could swing a whole series? Something to chew on as these games continue.